Hello, and welcome to my second video in my Missing Pet playlist. In this video, I'll discuss with you a vital part of your journey towards finding your missing pet. I'll pose the theme for this video to you in a question, which I get asked over and over again. Why wouldn't my pet come to me if I'm the one calling him when he is lost? Now, first things first, I don't want you to take it that you have done anything wrong, because you haven't. It is simply how pets react, and this is what I'm going to explain to you in this video. I want to start off by saying that the worst possible questions you can ask someone when their pet is missing is to say, "My pet always listens. Why didn't you train your dog better?" Or, "Wow, your cat must not be happy with you if he or she won't come to you. My cat would." It's just not fair to do that to somebody who has a missing pet. Guardians are hurt and coming to grasp with the fact that their pet doesn't see them as a safe place. And while it's perfectly normal and expected, it is still heart-wrenching to experience. The first and most critical part of searching for any missing pet is to understand that you are not looking for your lost pet. You are looking for a pet that is lost. Depending on your pet's history, there's a 90 to 99% chance that your pet being lost is not behaving the same way that you would normally expect them to. Now, understanding how a missing pet behaves is a critical aspect of getting started in any pet search. And survival mode is by far one of the most common issues you will come across. Survival mode is the name that we give for the behavior of missing pets. Pets go into this mode to protect themselves while they are in an area that they don't know at all. Whether a pet has slipped through an open gate, been frightened by gardeners and their weed eaters, been frightened by another animal, and they go into survival mode, they are going to be prioritizing what is important to them, to be safe and to survive. The list of priorities in survival mode is survival, food, water, and shelter. When a pet has entered survival mode, they very often see every single human as a predator. That means even you, who loves them very much, will be seen as a predator. So they won't necessarily come to you when you call them. So people yelling, calling a pet's name, shaking a food container, loud noises, cars, other dogs barking, squeaking toys, doors slamming, these all make their fight or flight response active. So when they hear all of these things, they are thinking how to protect themselves rather than, that's a familiar voice, let me go to them. Because of these noises, they are less likely to let you know where their hiding place is, or they could even leave the area and avoid it because now they'll think negatively about that area and think that it isn't safe because there are predators there. For most lost pets, it's a single event that starts the transition, and from there, it can progress quickly. A well-adjusted, well-trained, well-loved pet can turn skittish in a heartbeat. I want to say again, it is not the guardian's fault. It is not the pet's fault. It is simply a fact when you are dealing with pets that are missing. Some will enter survival mode almost immediately, and others manage for days and sometimes even weeks before going over the cliff into survival mode. However, it does happen, and it's a concern and is definitely something every owner of a lost pet should be educated about. The search process and methods used to find a pet in survival mode needs to be handled delicately in order to avoid scaring them out of a specific area. So, how do you handle this? The best tip of advice that I can give you is to treat your own missing pets like a stray pet. The problem with panicked animals is a guardian's first reaction is to call their pets, to try to get them to come to them. And this is, as I said, a big no-no. Other things not to do is not to make eye contact, don't pat your leg, and don't try to walk towards them. More skittish animals, or those who have found themselves in fight or flight response, are going to act differently. So the moment a would-be rescuer pats their leg or moves towards them and says, come here, the pet will often associate that body language with fear and adrenaline and will run away. So let's say, for an example, a pet is running because people are looking at him, going towards him, calling him. He's getting more and more afraid, becoming more skittish. Add into the mix a guardian or a rescuer who is anxious and freaking out, and the dog just gets more and more skittish. So, from a communication point of view, you want to take all of those negatives out of the equation. You want to do the exact opposite. This will be far more effective. So what you want to do instead is use a calmer method to try and do something to calm and attract your missing pet. Here is a nice method for you to try. Pretend to eat food off the ground. Have a crinkly bag like a potato chip bag, or perhaps a Ziploc pet food bag with treats. Keep this bag in your car. So when you see your missing pet, you have this with you and you can make a noise when you crinkle it. The main point of this noise is for the missing pet to associate it with a treat or with food. When you see your missing pet, you get out of the car and watch them from the corner of your eye. Remember, try not to make eye contact. Start crinkling the bag and say something like, yummy food, as you are dropping the food onto the ground. Kneel down and act as if you're picking up the pieces of food that you dropped on the ground. In many cases, the pet that is running scared would have stopped and should be watching you because you're no longer wanting to chase after him and are no longer making him feel threatened. So you are using body language of eating and enjoying food and kneeling down, and that should not be seen as a threat. Now, hopefully, the stray should be coming towards you instead of running away. Have a slip lead with you so you can easily slip it over the stray pet's neck, and throwing food on the ground at the same time so they are distracted by the food and you can slowly walk them to your car. They might drop and do a crocodile roll, but feeding them on the ground and trying to be as calm as possible is the best thing you can possibly do. Remember, you are doing this to get them into safety. And that's it. The most important thing for you to do when your pet is missing is to try not to freak out. Try and do the exact opposite and be calm. Change your tactics. Instead of running towards them, be calm and attract them towards you. I hope you enjoyed this info and found it useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, which is just below the video. You can also subscribe to my channel if you'd like, and this way you'll be sent an email every time I upload a video. You can also follow me as 8 Author and Animal Communicator on Facebook or as 8 Infinity on Insta. And lastly, thank you for listening all the way to the end. Please would you share a link to your profile so that others may get help by listening to this video. I hope you have a super day further.